So we're going to make some short crust pastry, and you do need to have all your ingredients ready. I've got some plain flour, I've got 400 grams. I've got 200 grams of chopped unsalted butter. You can see it's just roughly chopped. And I've got 1 egg here, a medium egg, which I'm just going to gently beat. I'm going to put my flour into the bowl with half a teaspoon of salt and my butter, all in. I'm then going to rub the butter into the flour, and the action is pulling the cubes of chopped butter between your fingers and thumbs and just squashing it, rubbing it into the flour. You can see we now have the texture of rough breadcrumbs where the fat has been rubbed into the flour. Then want to add the egg, just put it all in. And a tablespoon of water, cold water. To start with, use your hands just to bring it all together. You do not want to overwork it. Everything should be nice and cold. Just bringing it together in the bowl, gentle action. So you can see I've drawn the ingredients together with the egg and the water. And I have a soft dough and that's clean from the bowl. I'm going to place this in a ball in some cling film. So I've taken the dough from the bowl, just made it into a circle, a round. I'm going to wrap it in cling film. That's going to go in the fridge for at least half an hour while you get on with other things. It's resting while you are. So you remove the raw pastry from the fridge and you divide it up into a 2/3 portion and a 1/3 portion, which is back in the fridge. You need 2 pieces of cling film, approximately the same size. Lay the dough between the two. You do not roll out with flour because you're then altering the proportions of flour in your mixture. So you do it between 2 sheets of cling film or 2 sheets of greaseproof paper. You just start rolling, and you can turn it a quarter turn and then roll again and again, and just keep going. This just makes sure that it gets rolled out into a fairly neat shape. So the beauty of rolling out between the cling film is not only that you maintain the proportions of your fat to flour and pastry, but it also keeps your work surface clean. Now, if you have not made savoury pies or any pies before, I suggest you buy yourself a flan thing. This is 22 centimetres in diameter and it's got a loose base and it's got a crinkly edge. It doesn't have to have a crinkly edge. You will notice I've greased it slightly. You don't really need to grease it for pastry, but because it's quite a fatty food product anyway, but it's belt and braces. So I remove a layer of cling film, and I've rolled this so it fits in the tin. And I pick it up using the cling film to help me, and I place it in the tin. And I use the cling film to help me mould the pastry into the tin. Stops you poking your fingers through the base, which is quite useful. So you remove the cling film, and got a rough edge here. You take your rolling pin over the edge pushing down against the flan tin. You'll see it start to appear. Remove the excess pastry, just pull it away. And then what you need to do, and this is a bit of detail, is you use finger and thumb and squeeze and squeeze. And you're just lifting the pastry ever so slightly above the edge of the flan ring. And you're doing that so that when it cooks and it shrinks, it still is the same size as the flan ring. So when you've finished pressing the pastry so it extends just up beyond the edge of the flan ring, get some greaseproof paper, one I cut earlier, and pop it in the base like so. And then I'm going to put, should have got these out earlier, some ceramic baking beans inside it. Now you don't have to use baking beans, these are reusable. You can use things like dried beans that you would use for cooking, like haricot beans or kidney beans, or you can actually use rice as well. You pop those in, this goes back in the fridge to chill. So I'm taking the flan case from the refrigerator and popping it in the oven at 160 degrees Celsius. That's a fan oven, so 180 conventional. And I'm going to leave it in there for 15 minutes. Okay, so I've removed the flan case from the oven and after 15 minutes. And you will note that the pastry has a bit of colour and has shrunk slightly. So we're now level with the top of the flan ring. I'm going to use the tagine filling, but you can use any filling that you like. Meat with gravy. If it's too wet though, it will make the pastry soggy. This is pretty much like a picnic pie, something that you would pop in your lunchbox. And the recipe for this will be, or is already actually on the website. And I've rolled out a further piece of pastry between two pieces of cling film, just like before, so it then just sits straight over the top. And then just press it down against the edge. When the pastry is on top of the flan, before you trim it, you can crimp it if you like, but it's quite difficult because the first layer is part baked. So I tend to use a fork just to press the uncooked pastry against the cooked base. This is just a way of sealing the edge. When you do prepare your pies in this way, it is difficult to get a crimp, but it does provide you with a pie that does not have a soggy bottom. When you've finished doing a fork line, you then need to get a knife and just trim the excess away from the edge of the flan tin. Pop a little steam hole in the top. You can add some decoration if you want, like pastry leaves, but not essential because this really is about flavour. And then you get some beaten egg and a pastry brush and brush that beaten egg over the top of the pie. This gives a really nice sheen. All ready for the oven. Still at 160 degrees Celsius for a fan oven, 180 conventional. take it out in about 30 minutes. So it's been in there just over 30 minutes. It's nice and golden. If the filling is cooked before you put it in, just about 30 minutes will do just fine. If it's not, you may need to reduce the temperature to allow the cooking. If it's not, you may need to reduce the temperature to allow the filling to have longer to cook. You see it's nice and golden, and you can also see, because I'm lifting the base slightly, that it comes out nicely, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to just slide it onto the cooling tray with the base still underneath it, but the sides off, so that it doesn't become moist.